Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 184, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. I am Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going?
It's a going.
It is a going.
Yes. Let us ponder this.
Yeah. Going, it is indeed.
I feel like we're sitting on the patio of a rustic West Virginia farmhouse right now. sipping mint juleps.
Oh my goodness, take me there. That sounds absolutely wonderful.
How's it going there? It's a going.
Yeah, it's a going. Any movie news to speak of?
There's quite a bit.
Yeah, we've been. I think last time I feel like I didn't have a lot of movie stuff to talk about, but I've caught up. I've seen some more things.
You've made up for some lost time.
I did. Last night I intended to watch Jackie Brown. Ever since I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I've wanted to revisit some of the less frequently visited Tarantino movies for me personally, and Jackie Brown being one of them. And as I was going through the catalog down to the J's, I got to the C's, and I saw Cliffhanger, and I was like, on this very program, you have told me that I need to watch Cliffhanger. So I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I'm feeling it's a cliffhanger kind of night.
I'm always nervous whenever I recommend a movie to you, like an older catalog title, and then you watch it. I'm always like,
Oh, I totally get it. Like this past spring or whatever, my friend was telling me how great Pet Sematary was, right?
Right.
So we went and saw the new one, and he was like, "Oh, that was terrible. You got to watch the original. The original is fantastic. You're gonna love it. It's so scary." And I watched it, and I was like, I don't know, man. I'm sure you loved it in the '80s. Like
you were underwhelmed.
Yeah, but I mean that's through 2019 eyes. Sure, I totally get if you watched it at its time when it was.
No, I hear you, because I had a similar reaction to Pet Sematary, which I thought was entirely fine. The original?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
But
Fred Ward is awesome in it.
Yeah, well, he's awesome in most things.
Oh, not Fred Ward. Fred Gwynn, right?
Yes, the judge.
Yes,
Herman
Munster.
Herman, yeah, I think of him from My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
There is a scene in that moment which is in that movie which is legendary. It is a moment that is legendary in that movie when Dale Midkiff falls out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this?
I am not sure.
If you saw the movie, you may have just passed by it, but you can see it on YouTube. He falls out of bed and he slams face first into the corner of the nightstand.
Oh. Wow, I don't remember.
You got to watch this because this is one take. He did some damage to himself, but They just kept it rolling.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's very funny. You gotta check that out when you get a chance.
Okay, but I mean, yeah, I totally get it. I wasn't there in the moment, and it's very different to view something like that years later when we've seen things influenced by it. And
let me ask you something. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down this road, but you saw the new one.
Yes.
Is the ending the same?
No.
Really?
It's the same idea-ish.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly. There's different people
with Denise
involved.
Crosby, right?
I'm sorry?
The original ends with Denise Crosby, where he's. I mean, I don't know how much to spoil. It's like a 20.
Yeah. But yes, yeah.
Okay. So they did not do that in the new one, you're saying?
No, it's a little different.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, again, similar sort of idea, I think.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Cliffhanger, you were saying.
Yeah, no, well, so I was trying to think if there was some other movie, more action-y, that I watched recently that, played a little bit different. But anyway, Cliffhanger, dude, I really enjoyed this movie.
Right?
You're totally right. This is for me personally, I mean, everyone else has seen it, but for me personally, I was like, this is a cool gem from an era that I'm endeared to, it was like a present that I had forgotten under the tree.
Nice.
Right? And so, I dusted it off, and it felt like a movie from the year it came out, 1993. So. I mean, the plot is fairly rote, but
Yes.
that's not what it's really about. It's about being stuck in this one place and all the things you can throw at these characters and how they can sort of maneuver out of them. And I was even surprised. Well, okay, wait, let's start at the beginning because this is very famous. And this is even, this is really sad, but I know this opening more from Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, which I knew was a parody of Cliffhanger. But I had not seen this scene, which is kind of famous, where Stallone is rescuing a woman who's hanging from a cable over this enormous mountain. And, you texted me once you found out that I was watching it last night and asked, I think, how that played. And I was like, dude, I had my arms wrapped around myself and I was making noises. I was like, it is tense, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because they didn't have, like, drones and all sorts of the technology that they could now. I mean, the cameras are pretty locked.
Yeah.
But somehow just the music and the acting and the drama of it is really, it's intense.
And I think it works on a variety of levels, right? Obviously, it's a perfect what would you do movie.
It totally is. Yeah. Because it's not out of everything they're doing. You can kind of imagine yourself in that scenario, and you might not be as skilled as Stallone and the other characters are as mountain climbers, but you're like, well, I'm in the snow. This guy has a gun.
Right.
It really did. And I think in that way, it did this thing that some movies do for me and some movies don't, where I just get really angry at the bad guys because it's very realistic. And I'm like, if I was put in that position, I'd be so mad, and like the way that they're pushing me and my friends around, and how would I get out of this and not let them push me around? And it was, it really, and it's funny too, because I was expecting more of a 80s, 90s Stallone Schwarzenegger-y type of movie.
Right.
And I'd say the first half isn't that.
No.
It becomes that a little bit more toward the end, because there's a scene where Stallone is getting his butt kicked by this one guy in a cave, and I was like, why is he letting this happen? You're Sylvester Stallone, man. And I was like, you look at them. I've seen the muscles already. Like I know what you're capable of, even in this movie. And then eventually it ends with him taking him and impaling him on a stalactite.
Right.
And I was like, there it is. Which, by the way, this is just completely random, but sometimes it's fun to have this useless trivia or ways to remember things. Just recently, I learned the difference between the spires that come down from a cave and the ones that are on the ground coming up, and then we can remember it.
Have
Do you know
to
this?
hold on tight to the ceiling.
Yeah, stalac, and it has a C, so C for ceiling. Stalactite, and then stalagmite is on the ground. So to use it in a sentence, last night I watched Sylvester Stallone impale a man on a stalactite. But
This episode of Movie Film
John
brought to you
Lithgow
by the letter C and the letter T.
John Lithgow is like,
He's so good.
I was gonna say, I can't tell if he's good or not. Like he's doing a
he knows
really weird accent.
Exactly what he's doing in that movie.
That's what I was gonna say. He is like playing the villain in this type of movie, because you know what John Lithgow can do.
That's exactly.
And he's doing this the lines are so bad, but it's so good. That's what makes them so delicious. And so
let me put it this way: the only thing missing is John Lithgow going,
oh, absolutely. Right? He's something like, what? You like, do you want to kill me? Take a ticket and get in line. There's like lines like that. It's great, though.
You're mentioning the opening scene. I think what's great about it is, first of all, it's so tense and it just wraps you in. But also, your first scene is about demolishing the myth of your hero's invincibility.
Yeah.
And so you basically buy the entire rest of the movie just based on that.
And funny enough, I got pretty into the story and the characters where, he's traumatized by this event at the beginning, and then when he comes back, everybody's being so hard on him. I was like, dude, give him a break.
I know.
Right? You know what this man went through? Like, try to put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah. Folks, if you haven't seen Cliffhanger, and I would say that as far as Sylvester Stallone's action catalog, I think Cliffhanger is like his last great original action movie.
Yeah, and he co-wrote it, which nowadays doesn't surprise me, because the more I know about him, I realize what a writer he is as well as an actor. And the score is good.
Great
And
score.
then I wanted to ask you about Rennie Harlan, because I feel like when his name comes up, people are like, huh, Rennie Harlan. But I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was he's a good action director, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Rennie Harlan took a couple of hard knocks because he did, well, Cutthroat Island.
Yeah.
Which, everybody went down with that ship, right?
Yeah.
And he did Long Kiss Goodnight, which didn't do that well.
Right. But people, I feel like, maybe it's more the Shane Blackiness of it, but I feel like that gets remembered a little bit.
I think it's reassessed now, but it certainly wasn't
reassessed. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Right? For a while there, Rennie Harlan was the director of Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not, I don't know. He's sort of like a Jan de Bont in that sense,
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah.
It feels like he's just been kind of left behind. I know he did the Exorcist prequel. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Remember there were 2 cuts of that.
That's what I remember more about it.
Yes. So he did the theatrical cut, and then they later released the Paul Schrader version, which is like totally different. But I don't know which. I've seen neither, so I can't comment on either of those. But
yeah, but it was just like I can't remember if I mentioned it. I might have already said it, but the score was really good. It reminded me. I guess it's Trevor. What's his name? Trevor.
I want to say Trevor Jones, right?
Yeah, shoot, now I feel bad. But it reminded me, and I feel bad now. Now I'm going to make it even worse. It reminded me of like vintage Silvestri.
Yes, yeah. So it is Trevor Jones.
Okay, yeah. Which is you sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, I'm pretty sure I knew what they had in the temp score. And it feels a lot like Predator, but like in the best way.
Well, and you know what? I mean, the truth of it is that when it comes to like mountain movies, like to me, Cliffhanger is like the bar. Oh yeah,
right? Yeah, they mine so much of it. Like what can happen on a mountain.
Yeah, and so there was that Martin Campbell movie, Vertical Limit.
Yeah.
Remember that?
About that?
And that was like trying. It was striving to be taut and intense. But it's just, to me, I remember watching it and being like, yeah, but it's no Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And but it does feel like it's kind of a forgotten movie now.
Yeah. Just to throw it out there, because it's the only time I'll ever be able to do this. But I love watching a movie, then going to the IMDb trivia, and one of the things they had there was apparently in the version that was screened for preview audiences, there's a moment with a rabbit and it dies.
Okay.
And audiences just rejected that, and so apparently Stallone spent $100,000 of his own money to film the rabbit living and put that into the film. Isn't that funny?
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Cliffhanger.
Yeah. I mean, for people who love movies of that ilk and they haven't seen it, yeah, it's like this fun little gift waiting for you.
You need to keep doing this, just jumping back to movies that are 30 years old. And
oh, yeah. I'm sure there's plenty that I've missed, so I appreciate the recommendations.
Yeah. I'm glad you finally got around to it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then something a little more recent is I watched El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie on Netflix.
Yes.
And that I was a huge fan of Breaking Bad. And have you watched it? I can't remember.
I've watched the series, yes.
Yes. Okay, so do you have interest in this movie then, or do you feel satisfied with where it left off?
I mean, I'll watch it at some point,
Yeah, well, it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling much of it, but the gist of it is, when the series ended, we saw Jesse, worse for wear, speeding off away from a dangerous element, and that's what we were left with. So you can make up in your head what happens to him. But this, Vince Gilligan was like, well, let's see what happens for the next couple days. And I think it was sort of, debated whether do you want to ruin the mystery of that? But it seems the consensus is most people enjoyed this, and I definitely am one of those people. I was so happy to be back in that world. I was so happy to be back with Jesse. His friends, Skinny Pete and Badger, I was like, man, I love these guys. And it reminded me of Toy Story 4 in the way that, did we need it? No. But was it a nice little bow on top of the package? I think it was.
Okay.
So I mean, you're just dropped right back into that universe. The tone and the really dynamic cinematography, and I think it's very satisfying if you're a fan of the show. So it's hard to talk about it very much, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, I think what you said is enough for people to decide whether they want to watch it or not.
Yeah, and it's just cool that there's an avenue like Netflix to have something like this exist.
Right.
You know? I mean, I don't know that this would really get a theatrical. And I mean, I think it was put out for like a week, as Netflix seems to be doing now, to try to, I don't know. I mean, they're doing it with The Irishman for like a month, and Dolomite Is My Name for a month.
Right.
But otherwise, I can't see this getting like a full release around the world. So I'm just glad that there's a place for this movie to exist.
So thumbs up for El Camino.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and that, I was thinking too, just one more note. As I was watching it, there's been so much talk about Joker and how dark Joker is. And as I was watching El Camino, I was like, you think Joker's dark? Like, this is dark.
I mean, to me, one of the darkest things I've ever seen on screen is the death of Gus Fring.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Right? When he walks out of the big bomb goes off and he walks out, and you think he's like straightening his tie.
Yes.
And then the camera comes around and just half his face has been blown off. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that show was on another level.
And are you still enjoying Better Call Saul?
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was another one too, where I tell people season 1 was finding its voice. I think it was good, but it was finding its voice. And then once it clicks, it is just firing on all cylinders. And they've created all these new characters that I love, that I was like, man, if you there's a character, Kim Wexler on there, who's sort of his girlfriend, partner, or whatever. And if they wanted to make a spinoff show of her, I would be equally as enthusiastic about it. So, I mean, Vince Gilligan, man, that guy is he's got the magic touch. Nice. Yeah.
Well, as for me, I've seen a few things too, Brian.
Oh, you've seen some things?
I've seen some things. It's been not as many things as Jesse Pinkman.
Right.
I'm not laughing and crying as I drive into the night.
Right.
But I did see Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to this. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, so this doesn't come out for another month, so I'll withhold too much until you've had a chance to see it. But this is one of the benefits of being in a long-standing partnership, as you and I have been in, is that you sort of anticipate your partner a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so when I watched Ford vs Ferrari, I was paying attention for Brian moments, and there's quite a few Brian moments.
See, I don't even know. I don't even know what they could be in this story, and that gets me excited.
Yeah, like I feel like I know you well enough at this point, partner, that I'm like, yeah, Brian's gonna like that.
Oh, you always do. Yeah, you definitely do.
So this one, I mean, I took my kid with me. Uh-huh. First of all, I got to say this is so my oldest, who I took him with me to Ad Astra also. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, and they'd shown the trailer for Ford vs Ferrari in front of that, so I was like, yeah, I got a special screening for this. Why don't you come with me? And I saw this at the Mill Valley Film Festival, and the reason I watched it early is because I was actually going to be interviewing James Mangold, the next day.
Very cool.
Which is cool. So before, like the morning of, I was actually on YouTube and I was watching some behind the scenes stuff about the movie just to get a sort of a framework for it. My kid was watching it with me. So we're in the theater waiting for the movie to start, and I was like phubbing on my phone like before the thing starts, and then my kid he like nudges me and he's like pointing to his left, and I look over and there's like James Mangold just kind of standing in the side waiting to be called up, and he's like, my oldest, he's like excited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many 12-year-olds like even know who James Mangold is, right?
Right.
I love that, right?
That's so cool.
But yeah, so I thought that was cool. And then the movie ends and lights come up and he's just like, that was awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how cool that you can bring him to those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Share that.
And he's like, I've never watched a movie with the director in the same room before. He's all excited.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I can recognize young Brian in that sort of sentiment. So that's I can imagine how he feels, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and it's nice to me that, I mean, because it's not, it's not Avengers or something,
Yeah.
it's like an adult drama, but he was totally engaged in it, which was really nice. It was gratifying for me because I can remember myself at that age, and I absolutely would have been on board for this kind of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the one level, it makes me sad that these movies are being sort of pushed to the sides. This would have been a tentpole at one time.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Matt Damon, Christian Bale, big racing story. Are you kidding? That's like a summer blockbuster.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not that anymore, and that is sad.
Yeah, I mean, just very, very quick side note. I was watching, CNN was doing a documentary about movies, and I was watching the one about the 90s. And I was like, every one of these movies they're talking about is good and an entirely original idea. And it just felt like such stark contrast to see so many of them at once,
Yeah.
where it was just like, that's just what the blockbusters were. And now they're just remaking all of them.
Right. This is something that it's, the brand is the actors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case these days. So you watch it because you're like, well, Matt Damon is in it, and Christian Bale is in it, and it's a James Mangold movie, and so that's going to be something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know you liked Rush because we've talked about that previously.
Yep.
If you liked Rush, you'll like this,
Dude. Great.
Yeah. So it works on those same. It gets those same neurons firing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, then I'm on board.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to catch it again when they have press screenings next month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to discussing that.
Yeah, we were saying off air. I mean, we're just sort of looking forward to award season movies. This is when some really interesting, fun, very different sorts of things come out, right?
Yeah, I mean, they just dropped the trailer for Bombshell.
Yes.
This new movie about the sex scandals in Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that trailer and I'm like, oh my God, I want to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Looks fantastic. Charlize Theron is Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
She's like a dead ringer for her.
Yeah.
Yep. But that looks good. That's coming soon, right?
Yeah, December, I think, or something.
So another. I mean, you can expect some Oscar buzz for that in some capacity.
Yeah.
I also, this is like total opposite of the spectrum now. I'm taking a hard left like I'm in a Ferrari right now. So I saw Jexy.
I'll be the audience stand-in. What's Jexy?
I think you're the stand-in for everyone on this earth other than me. So this is a new movie, and I should say it is the last movie from CBS Films.
Long may they be remembered.
I mean, what are they known
the people
for?
who brought you Extraordinary Measures.
Yeah, and the backup plan. Right?
The backup plan, yes.
So this is one of those things where, I've often said this. Like my editor at the Chronicle, I think he thinks of me as his break glass in case of emergency guy. and I don't say that in a bad way. I'm grateful to be thought of that way.
Sure.
Because this was like Thursday night this past week. He's like, hey, I know this is late notice, but any chance you can check out Jexy and get us a review by Saturday? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. What's a Jexy? How do I watch it? He's like, well, it's in theaters, but they didn't screen it for critics, so you're going to be out of pocket on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay. So the next day, I go to the theater, and I am literally the only person in the theater watching this.
Really?
Yeah. There's no one else in the theater. So, and it's about, for those of you who don't know, it's Adam Devine plays this San Francisco tech worker who's addicted to his phone, and he gets a new phone with a new OS called, it's like Jexy, the way we have Siri or
Alexa,
Cortana or whatever, and it's voiced by Rose Byrne. And the whole bit, this is the entire pitch, is Jexy's kind of an asshole. So Jexy's like, hey, fat ass, eat a salad.
Right.
Jexy's like, hey, why are you jerking off all the time?
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an 86-minute movie.
Right. Well, okay.
So
and to what to what end? To what end? Is there any
don't know,
commentary
Brian.
about addiction to phones?
They could have done that.
Uh-huh.
They could have gone full Black Mirror. They could have gone full Idiocracy.
Yes.
Instead, they went right down the middle to mediocrity.
You know what's funny? Looking at it on our document in front of me, the word Jexy, it makes me think of like a movie from 1991 that'd be on the Disney Channel about a furry creature that only children can see.
Better movie. That would have been a better movie.
Jexy.
Starring Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about it. I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to watch this thing and turn around a review and get 700 words out of it.
Yeah, I saw that you posted. I read your review and then watched the trailer.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess I don't really know what to say. It just it does look. It looks like a Funny or Die sketch.
Yes. Well, the shame of it, Brian, is, and I think we've talked about this before. I mean, I think Adam Devine is really funny.
Yeah, we were talking about this. I think he's talented. He's got awesome comedic chops. He's got a really great voice and a sort of persona, but he's just consistently in these things that just aren't up to par with what I think he's capable of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say check out Jexy on streaming or something, but don't.
Really?
Don't.
You would say check it out?
No. That would be my lowest bar, but my new bar is go take a walk.
Talk to your kids.
Yeah, go jogging.
Pet a dog. Yeah.
One last thing I saw, Brian, real quick. I just saw this last night, and it is Maleficent, or should I say Maleficent 2, Maleficenter. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, it is called.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is weird. The
yeah.
title is actually, Brian, doesn't make any sense. Because the whole movie, both the previous one and this one, you're like, well, Maleficent's not evil. She's just kind of doing her thing.
Like misunderstood. Sort of that wicked sort of recontextualizing a Disney villain. Right? That's what the first one was?
Yes. So a more
Beauty
accurate
villain.
title would be Maleficent, misunderstood as evil. I guess that doesn't sound as intimidating.
Do you ever seen that I know it's a GIF, but that moment from Naked Gun 2 where everybody's slapping their heads everywhere? I'm just picturing at Disney, everyone's like psh, 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 slapping their heads as you say that title.
I mean, I don't have anything to say about this. It's like, you know, I always hate when critics do this, but sometimes you just got to do it. It's like, well, if you like the first one, I guess you'll like this one.
But that makes sense. I mean, I haven't seen the first one, so I probably wouldn't get anything out of this. But if you enjoyed the world, I mean, it's more the world, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like,
I wonder how this is going to do. I mean, was the first one a hit? I don't even remember.
It did well enough to warrant this. If I were to guess, we're looking at another Alice in Wonderland 2.
Sure.
I just don't see a wellspring of enthusiasm for this, you know?
Maybe for the first one because we don't know what we're getting and it's intriguing. I mean, we don't see a lot of Angelina Jolie these days.
I was about to say, I don't think she's as
Right?
big a star today as she was 5 years ago.
True, but also it's just like we just don't see her, right? So I think maybe there was a little bit of intrigue with the first one with, Angelina Jolie. I haven't seen her in a while, and she's playing this familiar villain, and this could be kind of interesting. She chose to do this. Maybe there's something to it. But now we know what it is, and it's like...
You know, it's weird to me because I'm like... I when the first one came out, I had not seen Sleeping Beauty, the original one. I have since seen it. And, you know, Maleficent is just straight up evil.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and so this is not like Joker.
Yeah, sure.
Where you're like, let's look at how this evil person became evil. No, the whole franchise now is built around, hey, remember Sleeping Beauty? That's a bunch of friggin' bullshit.
Yeah, which is weird.
Weird. It's Disney peeing in its own pot.
Yeah.
Flower pot. And they wanted something to grow, and you can't because anyway, that metaphor, I lost it. So it's weird. Again, I think it's like fine, I guess.
Sure.
I truly did not hate it, but I'm just like, all right, well,
You know what I'm picturing? And we weren't planning to talk about this, but did you see the trailer for Dr. Dolittle?
Oh my God. Yes.
Where it just feels like there's a human person standing in front of not the worst CGI in the world, but like very clearly like oversaturated sort of this thing's happening over here, and then they're looking at a beautiful landscape that isn't. I've seen it before, so it doesn't feel that. You know, does that make sense?
It absolutely does, and
like a real sheeny, fuzzy, like that really weirdly fuzzy sort of pretty background thing that these movies look like.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of things. If you watch that trailer, tell me you don't leave thinking it's a Disney movie.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and they tout the whole, you know, producers of Alice in Wonderland and all that, and I was like, that's exactly what it looks like.
But it's Universal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not hitch your wagon to? Yeah, I mean, that was such a big hit.
Here's the thing: $175 million.
Oh, I know.
To watch Robert Downey talk to a computer-generated bear.
Yeah, I know. And then we don't tend to get into this real gossipy stuff, but I don't know if you saw that some of the behind-the-scenes turmoil that was coming out.
I didn't know about this, actually.
Yeah, basically, I guess the first. Well, apparently, according to a VFX unnamed, so I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but an unnamed VFX artist who was just venting a little bit online about it, was saying that the first director, they were like, okay, well, what animal goes where? And he's like, who cares? We'll figure it out later.
Really?
And so then in post-production, when they're trying to figure it all out, he still didn't really know what he wanted. And they said there was some meeting where he was like, you know, some goose is talking. And he's like, we don't need to see the goose. We don't need to hold the audience's hand. You know, it doesn't. Whatever character's speaking doesn't always have to be on screen. And then they went to a follow-up meeting, and he's like, "Where's the damn goose?"
Lord.
So eventually, that director was let go.
Okay.
And
so
another director was.
This is Steve Gaghan you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another director was brought on and did 21 days of reshoots to try to put it together. And so this VFX artist was charitably saying, if this movie turns out to be good at all, then that guy is a magician.
So the second director is Jonathan Liebsman, who did I think he did the Ninja Turtles reboot.
Okay.
So Stephen Gaghan directed. I mean, he wrote Traffic, for goodness sake.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like the type of guy. Like it's Syriana, right, or something. Yeah. This movie doesn't seem suited to his sensibilities. But again, I mean, totally. Like I say, we don't typically talk this gossipy stuff because who knows? Yeah, we weren't there. But just having that in the back of your mind, and you watch the trailer a little bit, it's just one of those things where, I mean, instead of like pooping all over it, I'm sort of like, man, this industry's hard. A lot of people are trying really hard to make a thing, and then stuff happens, and then sometimes you get this muddled thing, and it's put out there, and you're supposed to just accept it for what it is without really realizing what all happened behind the scenes and how it arrived, with duct tape and broken wing on the tarmac.
Well, so. and I mean, honestly, the shame of it for me was watching that trailer and having this feeling in the pit of your stomach, like, this is not going to do well. Yeah,
well, it's like a January release, right? Which, that feels like a movie you'd put out like on Thanksgiving or spring or something.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I will happily eat crow because I'd rather it be good and do well than, be a gigantic disappointment. But I mean, you just say to yourself, like, $175 million. What are you, crazy? You could have made, I mean, think about this. You could have made 7 Get Outs.
Yeah, right.
Instead of one goddamn Doolittle remake.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I wonder how much of that budget is Robert Downey's, just to get him out of bed. How much money is that,
Yeah. What was it? Wait, that reminds me of another story where I was reading Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds are going to do a Christmas Carol movie. Okay. Right? For Apple, I want to say. And I'm fudging the numbers here in my head because it's all, I don't remember. But it was like Will Ferrell was going to get like $30 million and Ryan Reynolds was going to get like $25 million. And there was this bidding war over the movie, and it was like, well, who's willing to pay them? But every streaming service, this is so important as they're getting their feet going, you know what I mean? Like the Apple thing and the Disney Plus. So people were willing to pay this ridiculous fee, or even Netflix, because, we've talked about it. Their movies have been a little subpar.
Yeah.
Even though now they have Scorsese and stuff, it seems like they're getting their footing.
And
but
El
a movie
Camino.
like this seems like a coup with these two huge stars. And I'm like, holy crap, like that's like $60 million
Yeah.
just for the two people, and you haven't even paid for the movie yet.
Right.
You know, but where there's all this cash at the moment for these streaming services, I mean, can this possibly last, or is it even healthy to do this?
It's a bubble. Look, I mean, when you think about it, Jim Carrey was the first actor to break $20 million
Yes, I remember that. Cable Guy.
for Cable Guy, right? And at the time, it was like, oh, it's like the new frontier for actors. But when you look at it, what happened in the next decade or so after that? What studios started to do more and more of was realize that, well, the brand is worth more than the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So nowadays, having actors taking home this much money, it really only works when it's in conjunction with a brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So like Johnny Depp was making however much money when he was Jack Sparrow and all these. I guess Doolittle now is a test for how well Robert Downey.
Right.
And I don't think that test is going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because of him, but I don't think anybody is like, oh, I want to see Robert Downey talk to animals. Right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like, oh, is he going to be, is one of the animals like the voice of the computer inside his suit? That
Right.
and same thing with like Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Like, when is Ryan Reynolds worth 20 plus? When he's wearing a Deadpool costume.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
it. That's the only scenario.
Yeah.
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 So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's grumble about this some more while this ad break plays. And we're back. And some unfortunate news just to start out our headline section, and that is that Robert Forster has passed away.
Yeah, and I think this happened to a lot of people, but that happened right before I started El Camino, and he is in that movie. And
So he died the same day that movie dropped.
Yes. And so it was surprising when I saw him in it, and then I was like, oh, I just
Right.
kind of had that news at the forefront of my mind, and I think, for others, watching the movie and then just seeing that news immediately. So yeah, he's fantastic in it, and it's really lovely to see him in it. But that was sad news.
He's one of those actors who, he'd been kicking around for decades, right? And the first time I saw him was in the movie The Black Hole.
Same, without knowing really who he was, because I saw it when I was a kid. But yes,
Yeah, I knew his face, and it's funny because he's also in the movie The Delta Force
oh really?
as the lead terrorist.
Okay,
So
Oh,
I remember
interesting.
Yeah, he plays, Aziz or whatever the hell, the evil Arab terrorist guy. And I remember watching that movie and being like, oh, look, it's about these terrorists. Wait, is that the captain from Black Hole? Like,
Right.
I had this weird dissonance where I was like, oh, man,
Yeah.
But, the story goes, like, he basically was out of options career-wise by the early to mid-'90s.
Uh-huh.
And then, Tarantino is just like a fan of Robert Forster.
Mm-hmm.
So he writes a role for him, Max Cherry, into Jackie Brown, and gets the guy an Oscar nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And from then to the end of his life, he never stopped working.
Nope. No, he was, like I said, Breaking Bad, Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, Lynch stuff. I'm looking at like Descendants, Me, Myself, and Irene. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah,
just
that's right.
so much stuff. Yeah.
And he was consistently good in everything. And you talk about sprinkling fairy dust on somebody's life. Tarantino did that for him.
Yep.
Now, I remember visiting you many moons ago. This would have been probably the mid-2000s. And he was eating at the restaurant that we were at.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I've forgotten about that. Which one? Do you remember?
I don't remember the restaurant.
Huh. Wow.
It was just like, oh, Robert Forster. And,
Yeah.
And I know you're not supposed to like interrupt actors while they're eating, but in hindsight, I kind of wish I could have just gone up to him and shook his hand, you know?
You know, from all accounts, reading afterwards, it seems like he's the type of guy who would have gladly shooken your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, we talk oftentimes about character actors and how they are the glue.
Mm-hmm.
How many movies did he improve just even a little bit, just by being there, just by,
Yeah, he has a presence that will for sure be missed.
Yeah, he was also on that TV series that was they made a TV series based on Jennifer Lopez's character from
Cisco.
Karen Cisco,
yeah.
He was on that also.
Oh wow, yeah.
He played her dad.
Oh, okay.
It was Carla Gugino. Carla Gugino was in the Jennifer Lopez role.
Mm-hmm. Right, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a show. It didn't go anywhere, but it's a shame. You will be missed, Robert Forster.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pour one out and watch The Black Hole to mark his passing.
Nice. Yeah, and then like I said, maybe tonight I'll be watching Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. There you go. All right, so this news just broke literally less than an hour before we started recording.
I see. I don't know this. I'm excited to hear this.
So Kevin Feige, over the course of the last 10 years, has been methodically gathering the Infinity Stones from all across the entertainment universe.
Okay.
And so, as of this afternoon, he is now the chief creative officer of Marvel, period.
Whoa.
So the television side and the comic book side now reports to him.
Wow. Okay, so now we have... Because, I don't know if everybody knows this, but like the TV shows, they weren't working in absolute conjunction with the films, right? Like they were sort of subservient to them. So now we've got one figurehead overseeing it all.
And I think as soon as the announcement was made, Kevin Feige turned around and just said, "I am inevitable." And he snapped his fingers and nothing happened.
Right, yeah. Because he's just a man. Yeah.
So I'm looking at it here, and look at this. He will now be responsible for the overall creative direction of Marvel's storytelling across mediums, including publishing, film, TV, and animation. Marvel Television and Marvel Family Entertainment will be moving under the Marvel Studios banner, and Feige continues to report to Walt Disney Studios co-chairman and chief creative officer Alan Horn. So, in other words, what this does, based on my reading, I could be wrong here, is that Ike Perlmutter, who has been the nominal chairman of Marvel, everything other than the studio, he's been kicked to the curb. And I would imagine, and it says here, let's see, Joe Quesada will continue as executive vice president, and he used to be editor in chief of the comic side. So Sana Ahmad, C.B. Sobolski, so this is all the comic book side. They're all going to be reporting to Dan Buckley, who will now be answering to Kevin Feige.
Wow. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that there was ruminations that he could be moving into the Lucasfilm universe.
Yeah, I think he's busy.
Yeah. I mean, you think he's busy enough just doing the Marvel film stuff? I mean, wow. That's... Yeah. And the other thing it makes me think is this is really cool because a lot of times it seems the heads of companies... I mean, I'm very, very, very generalizing here, but it seems like it's usually like lawyers or, like sort of business people that become in charge of creative things. And it's like... That's why you get these movies that you're excited about the property, but then they come out and you're like, what were they thinking? Like, it's almost like they aren't fans of the thing that they made.
Right.
And so it's so cool knowing his story where he, started lower. I mean, was he like an assistant even? Or he was some sort of low executive or something?
Yeah.
And, but he was just a fan. And so he wasn't it like as far back as Daredevil or something?
Yep.
And just, an X-Men.
I mean, he was subordinate to Avi Arad.
Right. So just rose in the ranks. He truly loves this stuff, and now the guy that you would want running these things is the guy. That's awesome. And
it's I think either last time or the time before we were talking about how Hulu decided to cancel that Ghost Rider show that they were planning.
Yeah.
And I said what I had heard was that Feige wanted dominion of Ghost Rider, and so basically that's why. I mean, I wonder if this reorganization is sort of that acknowledgement that, well, if Feige's going to get first pick of these characters anyway, why not just let everything flow from his mandate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's I'm curious what's going to happen with the Netflix Marvel shows,
Right.
because they were nominally part of the MCU, in that they were not part of the MCU.
Right.
I mean, it was like, yeah, they are kind of, and there was no acknowledgement in either direction. But I'm wondering, because all the shows are canceled, but they did have their fans. So is it worth incorporating them, or is it going to be one of those things where it's like, well, no, they weren't all Feige'd up.
Right. Like that incarnation, you mean? Like, would that
Yeah.
incarnation of Daredevil or Jessica Jones or anything come back? But or is it
Exactly.
all going to be
Redone.
reimagined?
Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so that is big. Kevin Feige has gotten more powerful. I would assume if Kathleen Kennedy was worried about her job, she's probably slightly less worried. But hey, that's what's going on with Marvel and Disney. What's happening with DC and Warner Brothers?
Well, we're all excited over here about Matt Reeves' The Batman, which we know has Robert Pattinson playing Bruce Wayne / Batman. But we had heard rumors about who's going to be in this movie. Jonah Hill possibly playing the Riddler. That's not been official. But we have heard that Jeffrey Wright... Oh, no, wait. Is Jeffrey Wright locked in as Commissioner Gordon, or is that still rumored too?
I feel like he's locked in.
Okay. Well, and then there had also been rumors about Catwoman being in the movie and who would play her, but we found out officially from Matt Reeves himself that it's going to be Zoe Kravitz.
Yes, which is a great choice.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. I can totally see it. Like from Mad Max, Fury Road, and X-Men First Class, and yeah, I totally get it. And the more I hear about this Batman movie, I'm just really excited for a new Batman universe.
I'm right there with you. I was not there like a year ago. But every new piece of news I hear, I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready for a new Batman.
Yeah, and apparently people are saying that it was a close race between Kravitz, Zazie Beetz, and apparently she was really high on Reeves' list, but her commitment to that television show Atlanta.
Well, plus she's in Joker.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a whole different universe, and Matt Reeves apparently was very interested in that. But who knows? Maybe that had something to do with it too. But also Eliza Gonzalez from Baby Driver, and what's that other movie we just saw that was Hobbs and Shaw? She was in that too. Remember? I don't think we even got to that part, but there's this weird, rare moment where they show up at this place and all these lingerie models have machine guns.
Yes.
And then it's like a fever dream in my head. Like, did that actually happen in that movie? And then they move on, and I don't even remember the significance of that scene.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think
you said the significance of that scene.
What?
You said the significance of that.
Oh, right.
The significance of the scene was lingerie models with heavy artillery.
Yes, exactly. It was like a checklist. And
another name I heard
apparently.
was Ana de Armas.
Oh, right. Yes.
Who she was Joy in Blade Runner 2049.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was great in that.
I could have easily seen her in there. No, but Zoe Kravitz, I've been a fan of hers since I think X-Men First Class the first time I saw her. She's got the look.
Oh, totally. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited for this Riddler and Catwoman and Batman. Like, this just sounds like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
And I love the symmetry of Catwoman's stepfather being Aquaman.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Her.
So Jason Momoa is Zoe Kravitz's stepfather.
Oh, right. Sorry, I had to think about her actual real life lineage for a second. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. So it all comes together.
I know. Keeping the comic book universe in the family.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a tangent, but I just thought this was worth mentioning. You and I are both Back to the Future fans. Mm-hmm. We have been since basically that movie came out.
Yeah.
And one of the consistent parts of the whole mythology has been that Crispin Glover did not come back for anything past the first movie because he wanted the same salary that they were paying Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, the George McFly character is in Back to the Future 2, but that's an entirely different actor with makeup playing him, and they also have him hanging upside down by this, sort of weird flotation device to make sure you can't see his face very well. Like, that's why that gag exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting. Crispin Glover was on the Collider podcast just a couple days ago, and he's got a new movie out right now that he's promoting, which I should know the title of. Lucky Day. That's what it's called.
Okay, yeah. He's consistently putting stuff out.
I mean, he's never stopped working, right? But he always does like weird stuff.
I mean, honestly, the only other thing I can think of is Charlie's Angels when he played the creepy thin man.
Yeah, which, I mean, you know the story there, right? Where he was just so weird that they just cut it. Like, he wasn't mute originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he basically like refused to deliver the dialogue as scripted. And so they just, in editing, they made him mute.
Yeah, and it's kind of effective. And it's funny because I was thinking about this when I saw this story, and I thought, I wonder why he would do that movie, just playing this sort of third-tier villain character.
Yeah. Well, that's how
there it is.
So kind of, I mean, he's built up a rep as kind of a weird dude. So he's talking with John Campea on the Collider show, and I think he's asked, like, would you, if they were to reboot, Back to the Future, would you be interested in coming back? And he kind of, Crispin Glover, I mean, really unloaded in a way I've never heard him talk about at all. Mm-hmm. And I found it sort of illuminating.
Yeah, I agree, because the what we've been told is basically, yes, that he wanted the same deal as Michael J. Fox, and then it led to them, like we say, recasting the character, but they did use his image, like a picture of him, in a newspaper, in the movie, and that led to a lawsuit for something that there had been no precedent for this before. But
and also,
an actor was saying,
Brian, also in the beginning of Back to the Future 2, you see him through the door.
Oh, so they reused footage from Back to the Future 1.
Yes.
Which, because in that movie you can do that, because we're picking up where the last one left off. Right. So he sued because he was saying, I didn't agree to be in Back to the Future 2. You can't just use my stuff in there without me agreeing, consenting to this. And that did change, the laws of this sort of thing. So you have to pay people now if you're going to use their images in movies that they didn't agree to be in.
Which seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was made, from what we understood, some contention between him, Robert Zemeckis, and Bob Gale. But then years later, Robert Zemeckis put him in Beowulf. So it's like, oh, well, it seems like he and Zemeckis have kind of made up, right?
Right.
And in this interview, it sounds like that is the case. He and Zemeckis are cool. And but it sounds like he and Gale are not so cool.
Yeah.
So, how would you...
I mean, he's like, Bob Gale's a liar.
Yeah.
He's spread these lies about me for this many years, and basically saying that he's difficult and whatnot. And the context of the conversation, this is Crispin Glover talking about Jeffrey Wiseman, who did play George McFly in the sequel.
Right.
And I mean, he's kind of like laying into him, to be honest.
That was the part I had never heard before.
Yes.
It's of course he doesn't appreciate being tied with that movie without his consent, but even more than that is he thought Weissman did an awful performance. He was saying he was making choices I would have never done, and it's embarrassing that most people don't know that isn't me,
right.
And they would attribute a bad performance to me, and that's what seems to be what pisses him off the most. I mean, coupled with the fact that Bob Gale then is bad-mouthing him on top of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, on the one hand, it's easy to look at this and be like, dude, just whatever, let it go, right?
Sure.
But on the other hand, you're like, well, this is his life. This is
his livelihood, yeah.
This is something that he's connected to it for the rest of his life.
Yeah, this is the thing. In
Yes.
his obituary, it's going to God McFly from Back to the Future.
That's exactly right. So my perspective has always been not like, oh God, stop whining, but more like, oh well, it sucks, but whatever. Like that's
Yeah, same.
But hearing him talk about it, it gave me much more of a sense of like, well, I don't know that I could get as exercised about something like this, but I'm not in his position.
Yeah, it made me see it in a different light, for sure, and I felt kind of bad for him. And he also said that it prevents him from wanting to be associated with, those fan shows where people show up and take pictures and get autographs. And I mean, those have only gotten bigger over the years, and that could be a source of income for him, and even just something that could even bring him joy.
That's I was
celebrating his.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his most famous role, and it's too bad that all his feelings toward it are negative.
He said, I could be getting very rich going to these things.
Yeah.
But as a matter of principle, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, maybe I just have no principles because I'm like, psh, if there's a dump truck full of money involved, just point me in the right direction. That's me.
Sure.
But it reminds me of Alan Moore, who is a comic book writer. Mm-hmm. And he wrote Watchmen, right? And so Alan Moore, has a sort of a moral principled argument against Warner Brothers for what he feels is taking the rights for Watchmen away from him.
Mm.
So he's at a point now where he basically has signed away all of his royalties.
Oh, wow.
From Watchmen. So basically, he's like, give all my royalties to my artist. And if you watch, the film, it'll say Dave Gibbons, like the artist's name, but it won't say Alan Moore's name. And I'm like, well, again, Watchmen is worth a lot of money, and if you're making royalties, I mean, I wouldn't walk away from that. That's me, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, especially in his position. Position. That is your content.
Sure, so that's my point. The fact that he's like, no, I'm not going to even take any money from him. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do it, but hey, good on you, man.
Yeah.
Fight the power,
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can't speak for him, but I don't feel like they've done any great mutation of it that is like not reflective of what he did. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they've bastardized it in some sort of egregious way, I mean, maybe he feels that way, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Moore's an interesting dude, I mean, if you ever see pictures of him, he's got he looks like a wizard.
It's funny. Have you seen the latest Kingsman trailer?
Yes. Yeah, Rasputin.
Yeah, the villain. The first thing I thought was like, hey, it looks like Alan Moore.
Alan Moore. That's exactly right. So, again, I'm all about the principled argument, and all these things show me is I have no principles. So, because I'm like, if there's enough zeros involved, I'll say whatever you want me to say,
Yeah.
I have no moral standing for anything.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Crispin Glover has done no favors in how people perceive him in terms of his, kooky behavior. But this definitely did help me to see this in a different way and sort of sympathize with him and be like, well, I'm sure there's a little bit on both sides, but there was more that was not in his side than I realized before. And I sympathized. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of people in podcast interviews, just laying it out, I feel like this is a good way to segue to Star Wars news.
Yeah. Oh man.
So what's the news here?
Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. was on a podcast, or was it the radio? I don't know what it was, but he was in some interview recently, and when the subject of Star Wars fandom came up and maybe the tumultuousness of it, it basically set something off inside of him because he's got feelings. He has feelings.
And we should say, I mean, what is his connection to Star Wars?
I don't actually know. I mean, I know he's associated with one of the television series. Which one?
Yeah, he voiced Jedi Master Kanan Jarrus.
Okay.
On Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
And
So-
I'll tell you something, Brian. Kanan Jarrus is one of the coolest Star Wars characters to emerge out of the Disney era.
Really? Okay. See, I am completely not versed in a lot of the TV series area of this, so
Yes.
you could probably speak to this better than
I mean,
could,
it's a great show. He's a great character. And you know, Freddie Prinze really made a meal out of it, which is like a weird, you know, like you think of him as you know, she's the one, or whatever the hell, what's that called?
She's all that.
I sound like my grandpa, like she's the one, whatever that movie. She's all that, yeah.
That's the movie where the girl takes off her glasses and then she's beautiful.
Yes,
Yes.
as his historical fact throughout history.
Yeah, it's a genre too. It's put the hair down and like, oh, whoa, who are you?
So the
Yeah.
podcast was Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast.
I like that title.
Yes, but Freddie Prinze was not interested in making friends.
Not that day, my friend.
Not that day.
No, but he basically went off on the idea, I think specifically of people rejecting the idea of Rey being so adept with the Force so quickly,
Yes.
right? And he was saying, not even just in that, but apparently he has spoken to Dave Filoni, is that how you say his name?
Yep.
Who has then previously spoken to George Lucas, and George Lucas explained how the Force works, right? So Freddie Prinze is like, I have secondhand knowledge from the source of how the Force works, and it has nothing to do with time spent training. It has more to do with balance within the Force, right? So all outcomes don't have to do with your skill necessarily. It has to do with Force balance, right? I mean, maybe you can elaborate better than I can about this, but that's basically what I got out of it.
No, I mean it's very funny the way he talks about, like, Dave Filoni taught me and George Lucas taught him. He's talking like he is a Jedi Master.
He's very, we should say, he's very wound up and passionate. As
Yes.
he's like cursing every third word and just like really, it's almost like this had been bubbling up inside of him and
Yes.
he could finally let it all out.
So he essentially what he's saying, and this is a quote. He's saying, Luke's skill doesn't dictate whether he wins or loses. The Emperor doesn't dictate whether he wins or loses. The Force dictates who wins or loses based on balance. Mm-hmm. And this is why I believe that this comes from Dave Filoni and comes from George Lucas, because if that's not the most George Lucas thing I've ever heard.
I know. It was interesting, but also I was like, but I don't know that I've ever been told that in 8 movies, but you know.
I do, you know, and I'll say this: anytime somebody goes after Rey haters,
Yes.
I'm happy to co-sign it
Yeah.
because you know what, like or dislike the new movies, like or dislike The Last Jedi, if you dislike Rey because of how quickly she became Force adept, you're an idiot. I mean, I got no time for you. Sorry.
No, and I will speak as someone then, because I'm going to agree with you. I as someone who did want maybe something a little different out of the last movie, even with Rey's journey.
Yes.
I still feel like she's a great character, and I totally agree. Zachy and I are so close to being like on the same page, and that's why I think it's kind of fun. Actually, we can have fun discussions about those movies, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this
It's
trilogy
funny to
wraps
me,
up.
Brian, by the way. People are like, you guys never disagree. And I'm like, I think Last Jedi maybe like our most, you know, that's our point of disagreement.
Yeah. And I my where I'm coming from on those really is that I do like those characters. I'm just not sure they've done the most they could with them.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I that's interesting. It's interesting to. I continually. I know Lucas has removed himself from this now, but I am continually interested in hearing more what he thinks about Star Wars. You know, so getting this through Freddie Prinze Jr. of all people, it was interesting.
I mean, here's my thought. Honestly, if I were to guess, George Lucas is not a fan so far of the sequel trilogy.
I would imagine.
However, let me couch this. I think the stuff that he is not a fan of, most people are fans of, and the stuff that he is a fan of, a lot of people are not fans of.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have one example of that?
I mean, I'm willing to wager that he has no problem with the character of Rey.
Mm-hmm.
He has no problem with the character of Rose. He has no problem with what happened to Luke. I'm willing to bet that. I would bet one of my kids' college tuitions on it. One of the dumb ones.
Whoa,
so
let's
it
not
won't
say
be
things.
that big of a risk. But that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what I mean? And the stuff that he doesn't like is, we've talked about it before. Oh, it's like, the special effects are like this, and it's set on like a snow planet, whatever. And most people are like, oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's my guess.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But I'm gonna try to talk to George Lucas in the next week, and I'll get back and let you know how that goes. And then
I look forward to it.
I'll report back. Yeah. I wake him up in the middle of the night. Hey, psst, you don't know me, but do you like Rey?
He's probably like used to this. Like people just like at restaurants, just like.
I can imagine his waiter just comes up to him and there's like a hand, like in crayon. Do you like Rey? And there's like 2 boxes. Yes, no. Check 1.
Yeah, right.
But I'm being serious. I think the ways in which some people are attacking these films, I think are misbegotten. And I've said this all along. I'm like, look, ultimately, we don't know anything until Rise of Skywalker comes out. And then we look at this trilogy in its totality, and then we'll see. So I genuinely liked Last Jedi, but hey, if the Rise of Skywalker does not give the closure that it needed, the trilogy needed, then partly the blame for that will go to The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And I will.
Yeah,
I will
it'll be
respect.
interesting to watch this as a trilogy.
Yes.
And how does this hold up as a trilogy?
Yeah.
Very curious.
So check out Freddie Prinz's rant. It's a fun one. It's also X-rated, so we can't we can't play it on here. But if you Google Freddie Prinz Star Wars, I assume it'll come right up.
Yeah.
So with that, let's take our second break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the number 3 movie in the country. Okay, and we are back, and Will Smith is back, and I have to plead guilty here, Brian. Last time when we recorded, I was like, "Hey, we're going to be back next week talking about Gemini Man," because I was like, "Well, obviously this is going to be like a huge hit that everyone's talking about," and then the actual movie came out.
Yeah, well, I actually had it pointed out to me that you can actually hear my audible emotions when you mention that, because we hadn't talked about it beforehand. I'm like, yeah.
So I was like, next week, Gemini Man. And Brian's like, oh, really?
Yeah, that's kind of it, yeah.
So this is, like I said, it is the number 3 movie in the world right now, or the country, which is not good. Mm-hmm. What I've read is that this will
not what you'd expect from a Will Smith action film.
I mean, obviously, the last decade, let's say, has given us some hits and misses from Mr. Smith. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But certainly, you say, oh, it's an action movie starring Will Smith. It's directed by Ang Lee. Mm-hmm. You don't expect that it's going to be his biggest flop since Wild Wild West.
Ooh, I didn't. I don't know the stats. Wow.
Yeah, that's where it's shaping up as right now.
Ooh.
So it made something like $20 million domestically, and then it made another $60 million worldwide.
Oof.
Which,
and what is this, like $170 million budget, something like that?
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the picture, now this movie has been kicking around.
Decades.
Yeah. I remember reading about it initially. Either I was in high school or I just graduated high school.
Wow.
So that's how far back that goes, and it was exactly what we see here. It's a hitman who has to face off with like a younger version of himself.
Yes, and it was. I read an article about this. I think it was Darren Lemke.
Yes,
it was a spec script that. I mean, it's like one of those stories you dream of, where he wrote this spec script. He lived in New Jersey, I believe. Gave it to a friend. Put it in the hand of a friend who was a Don Simpson's assistant, Don Simpson, read it, flew Lemke out on his own dime, said, "Welcome to Hollywood." He sold like 2 more pitches. And the problem was, I mean, everyone wanted to make this. Like Tony Scott wanted to make this movie.
So, Brian, this has been kicking around since before Don Simpson kicked off.
Past, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so Tony Scott wanted to do this movie, but they couldn't figure out the technology. Then Mel Gibson wanted to make this movie, and they spent millions of dollars trying to figure out how to make this concept work visually until it was eventually just, dropped for a while. So it's amazing. I mean, it's kind of an amazing story that it did get made after all these years. It would never go away.
And had it succeeded, it would be a great Hollywood ending.
Yes.
Right? Unfortunately, they waited so long for the technology to catch up that they didn't bother catching the story up. So
yeah, but just to put a cap on the Lemke thing, he has since gone on to he found his niche in sort of like more like family films. Like he did Jack the Giant Slayer. He wrote Shazam.
Okay, right.
One of the Shrek movies. So he's doing okay. And apparently he was at the premiere, and this is the sort of the funny part of the interview, and he was finally at the premiere of this movie, but he's like, not one letter of what I wrote is on this screen.
Really? He said that?
But here it is. Yeah.
Now, it's written by David Benioff.
Mm-hmm. Of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones fame or infamy, depending on how you feel about the
Sure.
disposition of that show. But this one, it's funny because when we started the show, I was like, do we want to do a spoiler wall thing about this, or do we, and Brian's like, look, you made me watch this.
we're gonna have a discussion.
Doing it.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I don't buy a lot of Blu-rays or things much anymore, but sometimes there'll be like a movie, and I'll be like, I think I'd like to watch the bonus features on this or whatever, but it'll be like $20 or like or like $16. I'm like, and I think about it. Do I want to spend $16 on this thing? I'll watch, I'll enjoy it, but $16, I don't know. And I decided to go see this, and my brother's like, well, I'll come with you. And I felt so bad that he was coming with me that I decided to pay for his ticket. I paid $40.
Oh, Lord.
I gave $40 to Gemini Man.
and that's, I think that $40 is like the entire, what city do you live in?
Sherman Oaks, California.
Sherman Oaks. That's Sherman Oaks' entire box office for Gemini Man.
Actually, sorry, I know we're not even getting to the story yet. We went and saw it in this theater, and there were 3 older men who were not even together sleeping at the end of the movie. We were like, Dan and I were like, what is going on? That was a loud movie. So I don't know if that's where they went. They need, people need sound machines to sleep. I don't know.
What would make that story funnier is if they were together, they were just all sitting next to each other and just like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
All right. So Gemini Man. So my story here is I went to the press screening and I took my second kid with me.
Okay.
And the reason
I am dying to know what he thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I took him because I was like, this is the kind of movie that 11-year-old me would have loved to watch.
Totally.
Right? And so he was able to take it at face value. He's like, oh, yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's nice, son. It is not great.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm being honest, I couldn't bring myself to hate it either.
Yep.
I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was like, here's my thought. I'm like Ang Lee and Will Smith class it up probably more than it deserves.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. It's like a 1996 movie that got made in 2019. That's what it feels like to me.
That's literally what I said to Dan walking out. I said I felt like, I guess I sort of said this earlier with Cliffhanger, but it felt like a movie that got made in like 1997 or something, and like the Con Air sort of like Prisoners on a Plane, and it's just crazy high concepts, but not as good. I guess if you could even, but yeah, I guess so. Yeah, my opinion was, I have to say that I went and saw it in one of the few theaters in the country that was actually showing it at 120 frames per second.
Okay.
Which is funny because this movie was shot, Ang Lee specifically shot this movie to be seen in 4K at 120 frames per second, which means most movies are shown at 24 frames per second. So it has this hyper real HD 4K, shot with your phone sort of look, right? And that, I can't separate how I feel about this movie from that experience. And I think it helped the experience actually for me. Because I'd never seen a movie that looked like that before. And there's a sequence at the beginning where younger Will Smith is chasing older Will Smith on a motorcycle. They're both on motorcycles and they're going through this town. And when it was over, I leaned over to my brother. I was like, dude, that was awesome. And it's cool. It was a good sequence, but seeing it where it literally looked like I was looking through a window and right next to Will Smith. I mean, it was like I was with Will Smith on a motorcycle, and there's this really cool part where it doesn't cut, where he's going through these alleyways, and then a car is in the way, so he's got to skid out, and he keeps going, but they don't cut. They keep sticking with him. And I was like, damn, okay, I think I get the 120 frame thing. Like, this is, and I'm not saying that I want to see every movie like this, but I can see its value. Sometimes I even thought this would work well for like a Bourne movie.
Oh, sure.
Because that whole stuttery, awful. I mean, you'd have to cut back on the cutting, but that whole stuttery, shaky cam thing, it's not as aggressively awful when you have the extra frames stuck in there. Like, it actually does sort of feel like you're there.
That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, did I think it was a good movie? No. It's not a good movie. But it's not, like you said, I can't hate it. Like, it's just, it's so interesting. Like, the action was kind of fun. The concept is kind of interesting, but it's a really bad script.
That's right. And so that, just circling back to what I was saying earlier, like, how is it that this has been the white whale for 20 plus years?
I have no idea. I mean, it's got to be the concept, because the concept is cool. And when I'm saying the fun that I had, and when I walked out and was like, well, that wasn't so bad, a good percentage of that has to do with seeing it in a way I've never seen a movie before that I think did enhance the action a bit.
I mean, Brian,
yeah,
the concept is so cool that they did it already in Looper like 6 years ago.
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
Arguably did it better.
Yeah, and I think the problem too is this movie is not interested in the story or its characters necessarily. Like, it's just sort of interested in some rote dialogue leading us from the next thing. They felt like rote dialogue and rote characters in a high concept situation. And so it reminded me of Yesterday, where it has this really interesting idea, but it doesn't explore that idea to its fullest potential. Like, if you have a 50-year-old you and a 25-year-old you together, it's like you are literally the same person. So it's like you would think how the other person would think, and you would be like, well, do they have the same nightmares that I do? Or they do things a certain way. They'd have the same tics or fears or whatnot, but they'd have different experiences informing them. So they would be similar but different.
Exactly.
And so there could be so many interesting action sequences that use that to their advantage or their disadvantage. Like, there's a thing thrown in there that the older Will Smith character has a fear of water from an experience he had that the younger Will Smith didn't have. And they do play in that a little bit, but I thought they could have gone even further with several other things. And this could have been a really interesting idea to mine, just for action alone, let alone character and story.
It ended up to me feeling like the movie The Sixth Day.
I have to remember that, yeah.
Which is Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Arnold Schwarzenegger clone.
Man, yeah, I remember that it exists more than I remember.
It's just in stereo. Right. The technology. First of all, let me talk about the technology for a second.
Yeah.
The technology was like 87% of the time it was mind blowing.
I agree.
The problem for me is that there was this 13%. This is all math. You can't argue with math, Brian.
Right.
These are hypothesized and tested figures.
Right.
That remaining percentage was so distracting to me that it ruined the rest of it.
Yeah, it was better than I expected. The technology, it's still, it still has a ways to go. I imagine in like 10 years we'll look at this and it'll look like, whoa. But I got to give it to him. Like a lot of it looked pretty darn good.
Amazing. I mean, when they're fighting in the catacomb,
yes,
and they first confront each other, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Actually, for the most part, whenever they're in dark,
yes,
it looks pretty good.
Yes, the last scene of the movie,
oh my god,
is awful.
Are you talking about the college thing?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awful. And you're like, wow, wait, you did it so well earlier. What happened?
Looks like a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unnerving.
And that's the problem. So just when you think you've crossed the uncanny valley, you're stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, real quick, going back to the 120 frame thing, there was a moment that was so cool where the younger him is shooting at the older Will Smith on a stairwell, and this grenade flies up. So we don't see the younger guy. We just see Smith on the ground, and a grenade comes up, and Smith quickly bats it away, and then it just blows up off screen, but you see the sparks and the explosion, whatever. And I was like, whoa! Like, it felt like I was there, you know, just because of how smooth it was. On the other hand, I don't think this 120 frame thing works for everything, because there was also a moment, and I blame the script, I blame a lot of things for this, but there was a moment where the younger Smith has Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the catacombs, and I don't know exactly what she's doing. She's kind of babbling, and I don't know if she's trying to distract him or if she's trying to... No, I don't know what she's doing.
He has a microphone.
She's giving... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the way that it's executed and seeing it where it looked like it was shot on home video, it somehow stripped the drama out of it, and it felt awkward. Like, it felt like watching a play or something. Like, there is something to that 24 frames. I remember being on a film set for the first time, and when you're watching, real actors that do a scene in front of you, there's something weird about it.
Right.
And it's interesting, but you're like, oh, wow, that's real life. It's very weird. And then you go to Video Village where they have, the director and everybody in this tent with all the monitors set up. And then you see it through 24 frames. You're like, the camera's positioned here. There's this stutter that's been there ever since films have started. That's just, that's the magic.
Right.
That now I feel like I'm looking at something otherworldly. And, that's a movie. And so when you have some of these smaller moments with that, what we have known up to this point to be the, secret ingredient to movie magic, it just felt awkward sometimes.
Yeah, well, and I think that goes to sort of Ang Lee's fascination with the technology, right? Mm-hmm. And when he speaks about the film, he speaks about it solely in terms of the technology and not the sort of the emotional underpinnings of the plot.
Yeah. So it ends up being this sort of average movie that you, not necessarily sad you missed from 1997. But there's some fun to be had. You just wish, again, with such a rich idea, you wish they had mined it to its fullest potential. That's kind of how I left feeling it, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm curious though. If had the movie come out back then, obviously the technology didn't exist, but just the story, do you think it would have performed better back in the 90s?
Wait, say that again? If it had a better...
I mean, just the story as is, had the film been released when it was initially pitched, do you think it would have done better?
Maybe for a lot of other factors, though. I mean, Will Smith being like white hot, and this concept.
Well, I mean, this wouldn't have worked with Will Smith in 1996, obviously.
Well, okay, no, yeah, touche. Okay, so say if it had been like Nicolas Cage or something.
Yeah, or like Sean Connery.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, actually, yes. I think it would have played... I think it would have been more successful. I don't know that it would have been a better movie. I mean, again, if it had been the same script, like the word that keeps coming to my mind was like perfunctory. Like the relationship felt perfunctory, the dialogue felt perfunctory. Like it just... I don't know. Like if I remember anything about this movie that made me walk out going, oh, okay, yeah, no, it was just sort of the action, and I think that was even enhanced again by the technology. And most theaters in this country aren't capable of showing it that way too, which is a whole other thing. So I did wonder what this movie would look like, or how I would have felt about some of these same scenes if I'd seen them look different.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I kind of veered off from your question, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would have in the 90s?
I think it would have been a success. I mean, I think this goes to what we were just talking about before, right? I mean, Bruckheimer was a brand.
Oh yeah.
The stars were a brand. I mean, if anything, this movie is an indicator of how the industry has changed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bruckheimer was a titan,
right? You
Yeah.
know, that was the new Bruckheimer movie. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like where we're at now is even a star. And I think Will Smith is one of the few actors who can still legitimately be called a star.
Oh yeah. He's just he's got. We were talking about that with Aladdin. I mean, it's just whatever. If he's being funny, you laugh. If he's sad, you're sad with him. Like he has you in the palm of his hand, no matter what movie he's in, good or bad.
Yeah, and I think somebody like Will Smith, even coupled with the high concept, is not going to put butts in seats. And just going back to what I said before, I mean, I think Will Smith elevates this movie probably more than it deserves.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree.
So, I guess we landed at the same place with Gemini Man, which is, I mean, my feeling is, if you see it on Netflix or something, maybe you can have it on in the background.
Yeah, if this had come out on Netflix, I would have been like, oh, well, that wasn't a bad Netflix movie.
But $40 later, you feel different.
Yes. I bemoan the script mostly.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's a good place to leave our Gemini Man conversation.
Yeah, but that was I was very interested to hear your take, because I was telling you, I mean, we tend not to share our opinions with each other, but I hadn't read any reviews of this. So I know I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I don't know what people liked or didn't like.
And that Rotten Tomatoes score, by the way, because it's not doing great on Rotten Tomatoes, whatever. It's like 30% or something, I think.
Yeah.
Right. I was telling somebody, I was like, you got to look at that number, and I haven't read the reviews, but I'm willing to wager that most of the reviews are like where I landed, where it's like, that's fine. Like it's. I don't know that you can actively hate it.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have put it that low. It's like a 60 or something.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, but this is the problem with Rotten Tomatoes, right? Because it's slanted, so you can have a mixed review that's still tallied as a negative. That brings the score down. It's the binary nature of Rotten Tomatoes is what's the problem, right?
Right.
We need fresh, rotten, and neutral.
Neutral, yeah.
I feel like a lot of movies would end up neutral.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Gemini Man very much stays in neutral. Yeah,
except for I'd say two kind of exciting action set pieces.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? One other thing I want to bring up was we're sort of, I guess we didn't really do spoilers. We don't really need to. But at the end, there's sort of an enhanced soldier type figure who is fighting Will Smith. And
did you, by the way, did you predict that?
I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't.
Oh, Brian.
I thought it was going to be someone else.
Okay.
And then when it happened, I was like, oh, you dummy. I literally had that thought. But they're doing all this like really flippy, that's sort of like they're spinning in the air somehow and doing like these ninja kicks. And typically when I see that, something about it feels wrong. Like either it feels like a computer character or it feels like someone on wires, so the physics don't feel right. But again, seeing it in a very unforgiving frame rate, I was like, wow, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's still not how a human being could move. But when there is literally no forgiveness in the visual presentation, I was impressed with how they sold those movements, particularly in the frame rate I saw it. So that was something that stuck with me, so I feel it's worth mentioning.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, or are we good?
I guess that's it, right?
I think that was the reaction of people after watching Gemini Man. I guess that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Benedict Wong is in it, by the way. We didn't bring him up, but he plays kind of the wisecracking guy that feels like probably 20 minutes of performance got cut out.
Right. But I like him. I like Benedict Wong.
Oh, I do too. He was a welcome presence for sure.
And I thought Mary Elizabeth Winstead was pretty good too.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah, I agree.
Although there is a funny thing in there, which I noticed, and somebody else, I wasn't the only one who noticed this. She's like fighting there's like a special forces guy who's after her, and he like pins her, and he's like, tell me where he is now, or tell me in 5 minutes after you lose your teeth.
Yeah.
And then she, to show how skilled she is, she pins him around. She does the same thing, and she's
says
like
the same line back to him.
She says the same thing back. She's like, "Tell me now, or in 5 minutes when you don't have any teeth, or tell me like where they're coming, or something like that." And then we just cut to her with Will Smith, and she's like, "Oh, they're going to be doing this," and he's like, "How do you know that?" And she just like throws the guy's teeth on the ground.
Yeah.
and I remember watching it being like, "Why is she hanging on to his teeth? That's kind of weird."
Instead of just throwing him over her shoulder, she kind of collects them in the palm of her hand.
And it's
it's like she knew he was going to say that.
Anticipating Will Smith asking that question, just so she can be like, and then he'd be like, "Why are you throwing those teeth?" He's like, "Well, you see, he said this to me, and then I."
That is very funny, because actually I thought that was a pretty funny moment. But when you put it that way, it's kind of funny getting into the interior lives of these characters, anticipating.
It's like characters who know they're in a movie.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway, all right, well, that wraps up Gemini Man. I want to thank my friend Brian for not only subjecting himself to this film, but his brother. Sorry, Dan. Hopefully we got a good conversation out of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is fun.
But we will be back soon talking about something. I'm not going to say what, because I don't want to accidentally say something that Brian doesn't want to watch, and then this just gets awkward.
Well, if it was Maleficent, I would have been like...
See, you see that? I'm like, you know what? I watched it for you, Brian.
I appreciate it. What is next, actually? I mean, I don't...
Well, we have our First Blood commentary track.
Yes. Oh, I'm seeing Jojo Rabbit tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see it tomorrow, but unfortunately the screening coincides with my class.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I'm not able to. But when is that like coming out?
Looks like October 18th. I'm going to a special screening actually where Taika Waititi is going to be there, though. So I'm excited to kind of hear him talk about it afterwards.
So I suspect that will be our next episode then.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It just looks very different, and it looks like one of those things that if they pull it off, this could be something kind of special.
Yes, and I'm just looking at the calendar here, and October is just kind of a dead month.
And then I know Terminator, the next one is like first thing November, so that'll be soon.
So we also have a Terminator 1984 commentary track coming.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that.
So that one, maybe that'll drop before First Blood.
Yeah.
Either way, that's a coming. So we'll plan for that. And in the meantime, please, folks, if you're listening to this and you're enjoying what we're doing, go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. Also, if you've got any questions or comments or feedback, you can email us, moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. Brian's still doing his thing, making puppy dogs talk.
Yep. It's a living.
It's a wonk wonk. It's like the little dinosaur birds and
Flintstones.
Yeah. And of course, look for my stuff at my website, zakiscorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. That's also my Instagram. You can also find my writing at the San Francisco Chronicle and Birth Movies Death and various other places. So on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. This has been Movie Film 184. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast.